And I'm also going to get our live stream going.
Okay.
Okay, we already have a good little audience with us. Excellent. Okay, Erin, why don't you give our small group here, our early group, the trivia question, then maybe we offer it again later as folks join.
Very good. Very good. I think folks might be able to jump on this one fairly quickly, but our trivia question today, as we are gathering today, folks, asks the question, what three grains grown here in Iowa does Iowa rank first or second in the nation as far as production? And I might even spot you the first two, but the third one might be a little bit tougher to come up with. So what three grains does Iowa rank first or second in production in the country? Go ahead and put your guess in the chat, and we'll give the answer in just a moment.
Yeah, everyone drop your answer in the chat. And then I also want to mention, right, like we do, I mention every Thursday, remember that our recording, if you want to go and share it today with somebody who you think it will be of interest to, it is currently being live streamed on IFU's Facebook page. So it is right there as soon as it's there now, right? As soon as we're done here, you can go and share it. I will also post this to IFU's YouTube page later on today if you prefer YouTube as your platform of choice. So yes,
Very good.
I think for the sake of time, we can go ahead and get started.
Well, excellent. We are so grateful that you are joining us today. This is the Iowa Farmers Union Lunch and Learn series. And my name is Aaron Lehman, and I am a farmer here in central Iowa, and I get to serve as president of the Iowa Farmers Union. And we are very grateful that we are joined today, excuse me, by Dr. Lais Martins. And we'll be talking about Connected Ag Project and how it works with farmers. It's great to have you here, Dr. Martins.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share a little bit about our program with Iowa farmers.
Well, great. We're going to have a super discussion about it. But before we do, we're going to go into a couple of Farmers Union announcements. We have a number of very important things happening. First of all, we are in the midst of our 40K in 40 days fundraiser program. The Iowa Farmers Union is made up of very generous, very kind, very giving members. And our annual fundraising campaign is winding up. We are getting very close to our goal. So if you haven't had a chance to give, or you haven't had a chance to send in your pledge, please do so now. We really appreciate it. We're getting very close to our goal, and we're going to be tying up the project very, very soon. I also wanted to remind people that the National Farmers Union Convention is upcoming, and it's going to be in Oklahoma City this year. And we are going to be meeting there on March 9th, 10th, and 11th. So if you're able to join our Iowa group in Oklahoma City at the National Farmers Union Convention, we have lots of workshops, lots of learning opportunities. We elect our National Farmers Union leadership, and we adopt the National Farmers Union policy. And there are some wonderful farm tours as well taking place before the convention. So if you're interested, let us know and go to the website nfu.org convention, and we'll join a good group of Iowans in Oklahoma City. I also wanted to mention a couple of other things. One is our legislative update, takes place this evening at 7:30 p.m. Farmers Union members are encouraged to join, and we'll be talking with our legislative team in Des Moines about the Iowa legislative session that just recently opened. Lots of action going on there. So join us tonight if you possibly can. I also wanted to say that we have an active action alert that's taking place right now. It is in regards to pesticide liability. Pesticide companies are working very hard in our state legislature, unfortunately, to take away the legal rights away from farmers who have been impacted by pesticide injury. This is a massive, massive effort. And unfortunately, the rights of farmers to get compensation when they are injured is at stake. So check the link in the chat, learn more about it, contact your legislators. We know it's going to be an important battle this year. And we are working with our allies on this one very, very hard. We'll learn about that and a lot more tonight at our legislative update at 7:30. Our trivia question today asks the question about grains grown in Iowa. What three grains grown in Iowa are among the first or second of place Iowa first or second in the nation in production? And of course, corn and soy are right at the top. The third one that might not come to mind immediately is oats. Oats production in Iowa is actually second in the nation. So we are very glad about that. I think that came to mind because the weather here has been so warm. A few farmers, I'm sure, are thinking, it almost feels warm enough to go out and put some oats in the ground. It's awful early for that, but that warm weather makes us think of seeding oats here in Iowa. But before we go any further, let's shift to our topic today. We are so grateful to be joined by Dr. Lais Martins with Corn Belt Sustainability Commodities. She's the Corn Belt Sustainable Commodities Technical Manager with Trust in Food. And it's a initiative of Farm Journal. And we're going to talk today about Connected Ag Project and how it helps farmers implement practices like cover crops and grazing management, among many other tools. And we'll talk about how that might fit on our Iowa farms. So she brings her expertise to us from her studies at North Carolina State, but she's dedicated the last 5 years to cover crop breeding and is passionate about sustainability and resilience of Midwestern farms. So we're really glad that she's with us today. So thank you for being here, Dr. Martins. We're really looking forward to the conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aaron. Very excited to be here and talk to farmers. I'm gonna go over my presentation. Let me see
That's great.
my screen. Everyone can see my screen? Working fine?
Working fine.
Good, excellent. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm gonna talk about the Connected Ag Climate Smart Commodity Project, a mouthful, but a pretty simple idea. Thank you so much for introducing me. I am located here in Des Moines, but I do serve all the Midwest, especially the I states and Minnesota. But moved from North Carolina to Iowa, and boy, that's different. But it's very excited to be in the heart of a lot of the agricultural production. And I changed from plant breeding to now I'm more of an extension role, and it has brought me a lot of fulfillment. I love working with farmers. I work directly with them. So you heard about the Trusting Food in the introduction. A little bit of background. It was created in 2018 as a sustainability initiative. And the goal was to understand the hearts and minds of the farmers and ranchers. So what are their goals? Which barriers they're facing? How ready are they to adopt conservation practices? And what is needed to help the farmers to move forward with those practices? So that was the goal of Trusting Food. And in that we add climate smart. Climate smart is just another word, right? We can use climate smart, regenerative, conservation, exchangeably. And the goal is to have resilience, to have productivity, and of course, to have profitability. And hopefully, we can also reduce greenhouse gases, sequester carbon in the process, but it's to make our land sustainable for the next generations to come. And every day I talk with farmers, and 99% of the phone calls, they are telling me, I want to be more profitable, I want to have less inputs, and I want to make my soil healthy. Um, Overall, that's what I hear every day, and we are here to help with that. And for that, we have this climate smart commodities. Contents have been updated. Oh, this project. It's so this came from USDA funding. USDA provided $3 billion to create over 100 climate smart grants. Probably have heard about many of them. I know there are many of them here in Iowa. In our project, the goal is really to empower farmers with the data, with the practices, and make them feel supported through their conservation advancement or starting some conservation practices. For our grant, we are across many different states. Our goal is to enroll 500 producers for all these 19 states over the next 3 years. We work with livestock producers, row crop, specialty crop. It doesn't matter what you have. At the moment, we have 38 producers already paid. 30 are enrolled, so in the process of the paperwork and waiting for the practice to be implemented. 38 are enrolling, and more than 300 are signed up. So there is a lot of interest, and for this grant, at least 50% we're looking to be from historically underserved, socially disadvantaged, and systemically marginalized communities. So think about women, veteran, beginner farmers, people of color. We want to make sure that they are having the assistance that they need. And we are here to help you make your data work as hard as you do. And this is a very, our goal is truly to empower farmers with their data. We are not collecting, like it's not for us. It's truly for the farmer. It's to help you make good decisions and to have records of that. Through our grant, through our project, we are gonna help you use a data management platform. And this will track everything that you did. So if you want, you can sell those credits in the future, or you can show the records of your sustainable practices. Because we are working with partners to create demand for new markets where the buyers are going to pay a higher premium for crops or livestock raised in conservation practices. So there already exists this market. Think about cotton. There is a premium that some company pays, like Wrangler, J. Crew, Victoria's Secret. We hope to expand that to other commodities. This is also part of our grant, working with the end market. But at the moment, you are not affiliated with anyone specific. So you are not selling your carbon or anything like that. We are just empower you to have the data. And we also provide technical assistance. I'm the technical manager here. I will give the technical assistance that you need to make sure that you feel comfortable with the platform, that you feel secure in implementing the practices that we decide together that would be a good fit for your operation, for your goals. And if I don't know, I will find someone that knows how to do it, so you feel confident. And I'm boots on the ground. I'll visit your farm. We will talk over the phone. Um, and I hope that we can have a trust relationship. Now, something that people are very interested is the cost share part of our program. So when we say conservation practices, we pay you to do that. It's a flat rate depending on the practice that you choose. Um, and each practice are going to have some requirements. For example, cover crop, at least 3 species. We will work together to a very high seeding rate. And those practices can also be stacked. That's something that I always like to say. So we could do cover crop in a nutrient management plan, or a cover crop and a biological. It will really depend on what is your goal, what you want to do, and how we decide to tackle that. It does not need to be a new practice. I would love to be. I would love to expand what you are doing, but it doesn't have to be. I like to point out in our animal practices that we have virtual fencing. It's not very common to find that. For that, you would work with a different technical manager, which is our animal specialist, but we have that practice. Um, and we also have livestock genetic improvement, which is also a different practice. And something on the agricultural side that are a little bit different is paying for biologicals and for biochar, which can also be, less common to find in cost share programs. And we have we were working with farmers above 40 acres or more that we can implement the practices. And we do have a cap per farmer, about $35,000, with some wiggle room depending on how large the farm is. These payment rents, they were calculated across the average cost. So we're really hoping to be covering the costs. Sometimes it might not, especially when like biochar. It depends a lot where you are, where you're buying from, what is the freight. But it is a flat rate. And you can also enroll in our program, even if you already have funding through NRCS programs like EQUIP or CSP. The thing is that we need to enroll in a different practice or enroll a different farm or acre on that practice. And we will figure that out. But don't let that discourage you from participating if you want to. Something that it's important to point out is that we cannot work together if you are already enrolled in a carbon market program or if you're already enrolled in a climate smart project. That doesn't matter what code you have, what practice, we cannot work together, only one of those at a time. If you are interested to learn more about our program or in participating, you have to go on our website and fill out a survey, sign up for more information. I really want to encourage you to fill out the form at the end of the website that will link you to a little questionnaire. Please fill out as much information as you can, because otherwise I'm just going to have to ask you over the phone the same things that are there. And if I have some information, I can come a little bit more prepared to our conversation. It does not obligate you to participate. This is just to show that you have interest. And this is also not guaranteeing participation. Because as I said, we need to assess your farm, assess that this is a good fit, and we also have the 50% for historically underserved community. But this is the first step for us to have that contact.
Okay.
If for some reason this is not a good fit for you, or you don't think so, or you're curious about what is out there, Farm Journal also has this opportunity navigator. It's a beta tool. There are others also out there, to be honest. You can go in our website and check what are some options. There is also the USDA project dashboard that you can find all the climate smart commodities projects out there. Yes, I hope you can find something that you want to participate and that is a good fit. And now I want to go a little bit of the common asked questions. Enrollment process. How does that work? Like how much energy is it going to take from you to participate in this? So first, as I said, you go to the website, fill out the survey, you're going to get an email, and then I'm going to also send you an email to schedule a phone call. If you can, please put your cell phone there, put the right number, because otherwise sometimes emails go to junk folder, or we get so many different like spams in our mailbox. But if I have your phone number, I can shoot you a text or try to give you a call. And then we will talk, see if this is a good fit. And then from then on, we start working on paperwork. Now, just running to a broad view, we work some paperwork, decide what you're going to do. We work through the paperwork, you implement your practice, and then we pay you. Normally, because of the cap of the money, it does end up being just a 1-year situation, unless you choose, to do less, and then you can enroll again on a second year. We will pay for the data management platform for the duration of the grant, so for 3 more years, so you can have access to that. I see it as it's not a very bureaucratic process. There is paperwork involved, but it's not cumbersome. And I really hope to help you as much as I can to make the process easier. As I mentioned, I am enrolled in an NRCS program. And I still participate? Yes, in something different or a different farm. Does it need to be a new practice on the farm? No, it's okay. I don't know, you have already used rye as cover crop. That's okay. We can still own your cover crop, but we are going to use at least 3 species. We're going to, step up a little bit that practice. Can I enroll someone else in my family if we farm together? I get this a lot. Like, oh, I farm with my dad. I'm going to be enrolled. Can I enroll my dad? It depends. So we are trying to reach as many farmers and families as possible. And we do go through every single enrollee one by one. So we do have to fill that ranking criteria sheet to make sure that we, with the underserved communities and depending the dates that people enrolled. So you can, but it's not a guarantee that that family member is going to be enrolled or even in the same year. How long is the program? Probably as long as we have money to allocate to your farm, probably 1 year, depending on what you want to do. It can be more. But we will pay for the data management for the extension of the grant. Who will have my data? You will have your data. I don't have your data. I only need very broad data information to report to the USDA. So for example, average yield in that field. Have you done conservation practices before? Which ones? It's very anonymous data that goes to the USDA. I don't have the nitty gritty data of your farm. That's completely yours. And when will you get paid? Very important question. So after you do a practice, we need to collect verification, proof that you did it. So let's suppose you did cover crop. So we're going to have the receipt of your seed, photo of your cover crop growing, and an attestation that you will sign saying, I planted this cover crop on this day, blah, 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 and the plan that we made in the beginning. So after we have all this information, all this proof, it's about 2 months. So 6 to 8 weeks to get paid. And as long as everything is working. Yeah, so these are all my slides, and I am open to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Well, That's wonderful. Thank you so much for this information, and we'll encourage people to put their questions in the Q&A box, and we'll get to as many as we can. You know, something that's really been in the news this past week, you know, we've been scheduled to have this conversation for some time, so we didn't know that this would be such a busy week on the policy side of things. This week we did hear that there was an executive order that impacts a lot of programming, grants, loans, etc. from the federal government. How does it impact programs like this? And we probably don't have a full answer yet, but tell us what you do know and think might be what the path is going forward.
Okay. Again, we don't know. Everything's still kind of in the dark. But what we think and hope that it's going to happen, it's really that the new administration is going to go over all the grants and make sure that aligns with their priority. And of course, this one has climate smart on the name. So they're probably going to be like, oh, what's happening there? But truly is about conservation practices, and there are people that support that. So we hope that they're going to see the impacts that, it has on the farmers that we have already worked with, that are working with, and we really hope that it's not going to be disrupted. Yeah.
We certainly hope so. We wanted to share, and we put the link in the chat for folks. We work with an organization called Farm Aid. They're a very trusted source of information and help for farmers. They are going to be hosting some open hours with the Land and Liberation Group to talk about the executive orders, the federal funding freeze, and how do we support dialogue for moving forward. So the link for that is in the chat. It takes place tomorrow afternoon, 3 to 5. We'll encourage people to go to that. And I want to just assure people that we are working very, very hard on our government relations team to voice our concern that a delay of this assistance to farmers and for projects that are so important for climate conservation is not acceptable. And so our government relations team is working very, very hard to work with our policy leaders here in Iowa and with policy leaders around the country to make sure that there is not a disruption of very valuable services. So I just wanted to assure people we're working very hard on that. We know it's extremely important. So we also wanted to ask, of the farmers you're working with, do you have a good number of Iowa folks who are enrolled in the project?
So
how is it going in Iowa?
I'm looking for a lot of farmers in Iowa. I was hired just at the end of last year, and I really needed to, wait for 2025 to start so farmers can have their new documentation, FSA documentation, to actually start working. So yeah, I have spots in Iowa, doing more advertising now. And if it's something, I will say we still have a little window, but if you are hoping to implement nutrient management, biological, something, in this season, please hurry up and enroll online so we can have that going. Otherwise, it's going to need to be next year. Because on fall, we can do the cover crops on fall, of course. Sure. But I do need you to be registered, enrolled with us before you plant your crop to be able to do some of those practices.
Great. And you said you work with farmers all around the Midwest, it sounded like. So Kansas and Missouri and many of our neighbors?
Yes, I do.
Very good.
Yes, I do.
Well, this has been an excellent introduction to the services, and we'll encourage people to reach out. Tell us again the best way to reach out to you.
Yeah, so for me, you can reach out on my email if you have any specific questions. But I do encourage you, if you're overall interested in the program and participating in the program, go to the website and enroll there.
Very good. Very good. One last question. As you said that this is part of a larger effort, and you can go to the USDA dashboard to learn about other programs taking place in your community or in our state. So those are good resources to connect to as well, it sounds like.
Yep.
Very good. Well, hey, thank you so much. We'll encourage people to reach out and learn more about it. So thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. Any questions, just reach me over email. And I hope to see many Iowa Farmers Union members in our program.
Excellent. Well, thank you. And we'll look forward to having those conversations again in the future. So, well, folks, this has been the Iowa Farmers Union Lunch and Learn series, and we are so grateful that you're joining us today. If you haven't had a chance to join the Iowa Farmers Union, please do so. We know that we have an effective voice for family farming and sustainable agriculture in thriving rural communities when we all work together. So if you haven't had a chance to join, if you haven't had a chance to give to the 40K in 40 days program, please do so today. It's certainly not too late. We're tying up that program, so now is the right time. So we'll encourage you to participate tonight. Iowa Farmers Union members are going to have our policy discussion taking place online at 7:30 tonight. So please sign up for that. We'll learn the latest of what's happening in the State House. And make sure you check out our action alert that we are distributing now regarding pesticide liability immunity. We are very actively trying to raise awareness on that issue. So, well, thank you so much. And thank you, Christina, for pulling us all together and keeping us informed about what is happening next. So thanks again, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.